Alright, hello all, welcome back to the Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video here. So this is going to be a little bit of a different video here. I am trying to start doing a more, branching out of just gameplay. I do like to cover all the new stuff for the game. I'm passionate about the whole game, right? So, my part 1 summons went well. My part 2 summons, however, they didn't go so well, so far at least. So that made me pretty curious. I wanted to check and see roughly how much stones we have yet to get from this entire campaign. And by this from this entire campaign, I mean from right now, the time I'm recording this, until I believe the campaign ends at like 3 a.m. my time, August 11th. I could be mistaken about that, but I believe like the last like login day should be like the 10th my time. So that being said, I'm strapped for stones right now. I do have some stuff I could still grind out, but it's not going too well, and I want both the LRs. So I figured what I would do is I would go through all of the content that we know about currently with stones that we should get. And essentially, this video, I want to sort of go through all of the known coming content and show examples or proof, whatever have you, for how much stones we have yet to get. That way you can see I do have the total already like calced. I have the doc at the end there. And I just wanted to go through this, and because I wanted to know for myself, and I figured this could be a helpful resource for others that are still, trying to summon, still trying to get the LRs, maybe trying to get dupes, whatever have you. Right? Me personally, I really wanted to know whether or not I would be able to hit pity. I mean, that was the big thing for me. Now, currently, I am at, what is it, 369 coins, which means I would need another 131 to go, which, if, let me clear this. If I need another 131, each coin is worth each coin is worth 5 stones, right? Because, I mean, you get 10 per multi, right? And obviously it takes 50. You get what I'm saying. So 131 times 5. I need 655 stones to hit pity, essentially. Now, what complicates the thing is there is also the the old shitty SSRs that many people, including myself, if you have an older account, will have rainbow. I do tend to pull several of these, so I think I should be able to hit pity after I've done the calcs here. I'm very confident I should, honestly. And I wanted to share this in case you're unsure. I've seen a lot of people online are unsure. It's definitely something where it can be very close. So I wanted to share a resource to try and help you guys, essentially, and I wanted to know myself. So without further ado, we are going to get into this. I'm just going to go one at a time and sort of explain. I do have the doc pulled up at the end here, and we'll go through that as we progress through, essentially. So, starting out here, we do have the Collect Dragonstones campaign. Now, this is a campaign that has been updated weekly. It started at 1 stone per mission, 2 stone, 3 stone, 4 stone, 5 stone. Right now, we're on the 5 stone. Now, they did already tell us that you can get 196 stones total from this event. And if we, just look over here, right, and we can, just do basic math, right? Clear this. First week, 7. Second week, we got 2 per, right? That's 14, right? Then we do plus 21, right? 42 plus 28, 70 plus 35, right? This is what we're on right now, 105. Now, we do know with 196, so, I mean, we can very easily tell the next week, as it increases, because it's increasing every week, would be plus 42. So we will get 6 stones per mission next week. And then finally, for the final week, we'll get 7 stones per mission, 196. So, I mean, right there already, I mean, that's 42 plus 49, right? I mean, we're already looking at 91 stones just from the weekly missions, right? So, I mean, I'd say that's off to a pretty good start, right? And once again, I do have everything pulled up in order here, and we're just going to go through it. Now, I mean, you're going to get little spoilers as we go through. I suppose I could maybe, is there a way to zoom in? I forget how to zoom in. Is it page up? Oh, well, that didn't do it. Okay, well, I forget how to zoom in. You'll just get little spoilers, as we progress through on the dock part here. But essentially, we do also know about this if you participated in this. I suppose that is also worth saying here. This is also considering if you're participating in the game. If you're not playing the game, if you're just, if you're not doing the campaigns, I mean, I can't. I'm just looking at the max amount of stones if you're doing everything, right? So do keep that in mind. However, with this campaign, we do know we're getting 30 stones, right? There's also the like and retweet campaign. We always hit that. In fact, well, I don't know what the JP side has, but we're already decently high up here. We're going to hit this. So that's another 37 stones, obviously, from those campaigns, which is very nice. Now, JP already got this. Top grossing. It's right here. Global has yet to get this. I am recording this on my, I am a global player. So I'm just recording. I suppose that is also worth noting. This is recording from a global player's perspective. So if you're on JP, although I think this is the only thing that will be different, I probably honestly should have put that in the bottom part. I'll make sure to try and do that at the end. So I'll probably put this on Twitter as well. And once again, this is just an estimation. I could be wrong. It could be lower. I don't think it will be lower, because even if I'm wrong about like an event or two coming, it should at the very least be replaced by some of the events we know for sure are coming, but we don't know yet the mission rewards, right? So JP already got their 50 stones. Now, it is worth noting, if you were paying attention before, like, just from the teaser video they put on Twitter, stores were already moving up in top grossing. I don't believe JP has hit Android top grossing since the 8th anniversary. I may be wrong about that, but I believe that is the case. So it's been quite a while, right? It's been over 2 years, 2.5 years since Android top grossing has been hit for JP. It's just, back in my day, right, we used to hit that shit all the time. I'm a global player. We used to get all the stones all the time. It used to be very, very nice. Unfortunately, we're in a different time, okay? The gacha game market is, and even like the Google Play Store and the Apple Store or whatever, there's a lot of games on them, so it's a lot harder for Dokkan, even though it's doing better these days, right? It's still a lot harder for it to hit the sort of top grossing. But it is worth noting, in part one, with Tag Blues and Tag Rose Zamasu, and we all know, I think the kits are very well designed. The characters are a lot of fun. So that does help, right? But certainly people were disappointed by no fusions, and I believe, and I don't have this pulled up, but I believe I saw that for Android top grossing, JP hit number 4. And that is another thing worth noting. These are tied together. if JP gets the Android top grossing, even if technically Global shouldn't get it, we will get the 100 stones. 100%, right? So it is dependent on if JP hits it or not. And if JP hits it, both will get the 100. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this. I'm not considering this towards the final calculation because we don't know. It's very possible. I'm not going to say it's guaranteed to happen. I'm not going to even say that it's like 90%. I'd give it like a solid 50-50. Like, and not to say, oh, it either happens or it doesn't. But we have evidence that points to it is possible to happen. We also have evidence that shows it hasn't happened in quite a while. So essentially, this is something like we're going to have to watch over the next several days and week, because Android especially does update slower than iOS store. So we're going to have to wait and watch the store, essentially. So JP already got these. That's why I have Global written here. Global has yet to get them. And I suppose that is another thing worth noting. Currently, it is the 24th for me, but it is before reset. If I had to guess, this will go up after reset for me. But I'm looking up at this from the perspective of right at this moment. So something like the login stone or like the daily mission stone, you'll probably have to minus. I have to guess. That'll only be a couple, but just putting that out there. I'm trying to make this as clear as possible. Okay, so we do have this. Next, we do have Super Easy Ace, right? We do know 100%. Yeah, you see this down here. We do know 100%. We have 3 Super Easy Ace coming. Omega Shenron, STR, and then STR Super Saiyan 4 Goku, AGL Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Now, I do have this, shown here. If I scroll down, for clearing the super stage for the first time, you do get 3 stones. Now, it doesn't say the missions here. Some of the stuff I'm just gonna have to talk about. I couldn't find it to specify on here, unfortunately. But if you check in game, the previous like Super Easy Ace, they all always have like 2. So we should expect 2 from each, and then 3 for the first clear for each. Well, that's actually, hold on. Before, I may have just caught myself in real time here, which is actually really good. Some of those like Goku Vegeta Easy A's, they actually like band together. I forget if that's the case for these 2. I'm actually gonna check in game real quick on my own, because obviously it uses that version of the event, right? So I do need to see. Just real quick, I'm trying to scroll fast here to see where it is. I don't know where it's at. But it's just an update to the event here. So you'll be able to tell based off the event whether or not it's going to go a certain way. Jesus, I can't find the event. Come on. I might cut in just a moment if I can't find it. I'm struggling to find it. I don't know if they have it like offline or something. Oh, no. Okay, no, I found it. Okay, well, I have to make an update in real time here. This is actually, they are on the same event. I'm glad I caught this. So, making an update, this is actually 2 events that will be, you'll still get 3 each. You'll still get 2 from this, but obviously that does mean this goes down to 10 total. So I'm glad I caught that. And this is the first time I'm doing something like this, so if I make a mistake, I do apologize. That is why at the top here it does say estimated. I'm not perfect. I don't know what all's coming. This is just from what we know currently and going off of that, right? So this is not going to be 100% accurate. This is just like a ballpark guess, essentially. So then we do have okay, here. I'll just cover all the Easy A's at once. So, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is on Omega's banner. LR, Dokkan Vegeta, and Trunks are on the Blues banner. I would wager a significant amount that both are getting their easy A's. I've been saying this since part one. This is not. A lot of people expected, for whatever reason, these guys to come within part one, part two. I never expected that. If you take a look, if you've been playing the game for a while, or even if you haven't, if you take a look back at previous huge celebrations, look at the 10th anniversary. We had the Gods and the Super Saiyan Force, the most hypest EZAs of the anniversary, at the very final part. If you look at 2024 Worldwide Download Celebration, the very final part, they finished off with, like, out of nowhere, right? We got Super Gogeta, Super Janemba, right? And to be fair, we also did get events. We did get events there, so I don't know if we'll get events with these guys. We may, in fact, get events. If you look at, the 9th anniversary, AGL MUI, Int Blue Evolution Vegeta, like, I think I've made my point. They do like to save these EZAs for the very end. We've known this. I don't know why people were expecting these two to come in part one or two. I've been saying, if you've been watching, that they are very, very likely coming part three. I suppose, you get the pitchforks, the stakes, the torches, if I'm wrong, but I would say these guys are coming part three. So just hold on, be patient, they'll be here. And this we should be getting next week, but it's actually not sort of confirmed, right? So we do know, and I probably should have had this pulled up. In fact, it should be pretty easy to pull up. I'm just gonna have to scroll down here a bit. Let's see. We do know, because they posted this. Here we go. We do know about this graphic. Now, this is probably going to come from the Battlefield shop. With the part two of the Battlefield, we already know this one coming. Then we do have 6 different EZAs. These are all like sort of sub EZA characters, right? Now, Dokkan operates kind of weird with this. Sometimes they will be just like old events that you have to clear through. Like say Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta here, they'll want you to clear the Super Saiyan 4 Goku Dokkan Vest TUR, for example, right? And grind up the medals there. Sub EZAs, they handle them kind of weirdly. However, there is also evidence. When there's a bunch of them all at once, they do tend to put them in their own EZA, right? So if we look at this, the Peppy Gals, right? Or we look at this is like the God of Destruction movie. And there are several more examples, mind you. And you can look at these in-game. So I know there's only like 2 characters on this banner. There's only 4 characters on this banner, right? But these events are both, doing like 6, 7 different EZAs. And that's why they made it its own thing. Because it's a lot of sub-EZAs, but they're all around a sort of theme. These are all obviously GT themed. So I do expect they will all be in one GT themed new EZA event, but sub EZA sort of thing, right? So that I could be wrong about this. This one's a little more up in the air, but we do have evidence that points to, at least in my opinion, that they will be one sort of EZA event. If they're not, obviously that minus is 34 here, but I do think these two I'm fully confident are coming. This one I'm a bit more questionable, but I'm like 80% confident that it's going to be in this format. So this one's a little more questionable, but I'm pretty sure it's going to come this way. Okay, so next we do have the Popo event. So yeah, once again another spoiler. The Popo event, we've had this event in events very similar to it several times now. It should be pretty obvious how this works if you've been playing. If you haven't, just to let you know. Typically in part 1, they have, sort of some equips, right? They have 20 stones. They've been doing this since like 2023, I think. Events like this. The first one was a pan water ball water bottle collection sort of thing, and you were able to get equips for like I think it was like gammas. Um, I forget who all you could get it for, but you could get equips there, right? And in the first part you could get 20 stones, and then in the second part, you could get 30 stones, right? When it updates. So we do know it's going to update. Um, I don't actually have that pulled up, but we do know it's going to update. It very well should have 30 stones attached to it, as well as new equips for like STR Omega, um, AGL Super Saiyan 4. Well, scratch that. I don't think the Super Saiyan 4s will have equips because they already have special equips from the anniversary battle event. So they probably won't get them. But like STR Omega definitely will. Maybe some of the like sub EZAs will. Maybe like we'll learn about a new EZA coming. I don't know. Honestly, maybe like the Shadow Dragon. The Shadow Dragon Legion could have it in there. So we'll get special equips for several different characters as well as 30 stones. And now we start getting into a little more broad stuff. A little more towards the end type of stuff, I suppose. Well, I don't know. I'm I'm trying to find the word, but I want to use what I can't really. Okay, let me just do this. So, in past celebrations, major celebrations, they do tend at the very end, at the very very end. Now, this is usually like the same sort of time they are, dropping the like. This would be around the same time that they would drop EZA Trunks and Vegeta and EZA Gogeta. They will be like, hey, thank you for helping us celebrate our global anniversary. Here's a gift to thank you for the continued support, right? So this happens at the end of most major campaigns. In fact, I'd say pretty much all of them. So it's not confirmed, I suppose, but this does always happen. So, and unless they don't do it, and that's I can't do anything about that. Unless they just magically don't do it, it should be coming. We should get 30 stones from it, but it will be at the very, very end. Also, I suppose it is worth noting some of this is probably coming once the discounts are already over. I'm trying to examine this from a perspective of a player like me who's at like 350, 60, 70, whatever pity coins, and like, am I gonna hit it? I'm so close. I better not miss it, right? That's the sort of perspective I'm looking at this from. So, do keep that in mind. Some of this stuff is probably going to be, like maybe once the discounts are have worn off, but I mean, there is still like the summon points. So summoning on the banners even after the discounts go away could be actually pretty good. So there is that as well. Okay, next we do have Dokkan Day. Now, obviously, this is updated the 15th. Well, I suppose the 14th and the 29th. From this, they have the special missions, and they do have Dragon Stones attached to this. So, I believe, I could be wrong about this, I believe it's 10 stones. I'm pretty confident, I suppose I should say, that it's 10 stones. So, on the 30th, or 29th, whatever time it is, the Dokkan special day for you, you should be able to clear this and get 10 stones. Next, we do have the Come Forth Eternal Dragon campaign. Now, this has happened twice already, as you can see here. We do still have, and this is coming soon, this one, and this is towards the very end of the campaign. This is a login bonus, essentially once every 10 days, where you can either get 5 stones or 7 stones, right? So, I mean, it depends, if you get lucky or not. But bare minimum, well, that's, suppose, where do I have the, oh, here it is. Here it is. We just scrolled through a lot of stuff. You're going to get at least 10 stones. You could get like 5 once, 7 another time for 12 total, or you could get 7 both times for 14, right? Then we do have, I mean, I might as well just keep it over here. We do have the Pixel Character Monthly Reset. So on your power level profile, whatever page, you should see your Pixel Character. Essentially, you you upgrade your pixel character through the month by like completing events, logging in, that sort of thing. Uh, with the rate I play, I always I get it to max out. In fact, I would say I almost always get it maxed out within the first like 5 days, 10 days, something like that. Like it's pretty easy to max out. Honestly, you just got to make sure to use your stamina on like link level, right? So as long as you're actually playing the game daily, uh, you should be able to get the max. Which I mean, that also gives like ties and stuff. So the meats. I mean, it's very rewarding. So if you're not doing this, you should do this, and you do actually have time. From at least when this is recorded. I mean, you should have about a week essentially to essentially get your ass into gear and fully level your pixel character. So that'll be 10 stones at the end of the month. Then we have daily login stones. At the time I'm writing this, or at the time I wrote this, I suppose, there should be about 18 remaining. They have given us 1 dragonstone per day, I believe. I could be wrong about that. I believe it's 1 dragonstone per day. So if it is 1 dragonstone per day, it should be 18 left. If it's 2, I mean that should be 36. But I'm pretty confident it's 1 stone per day. So there should be about 18 stones left from daily login. So I mean there's that. The daily missions, there should be. You do have 2. In fact, I have this actually pulled up. Oh yeah, I had this pulled up. I couldn't get it to pull up the thing, and I couldn't find it in game either. So my bad. I just have to explain that and not show it. This I did want to show. Daily, you see 1 stone. Daily, 1 stone. Then there's also these, which are Friday to Saturday and Saturday to Sunday, right? So from the daily missions, there should be, obviously you get 2 per day. There's 18 days left. Should get 36. And then the weekend ones, there should be 2 weekends before the end of the campaign. I believe there should be 2 weekends at least. I hope I did that right. I'm starting to question. There's 2 weekends left, I believe. There's 1, 2. Oh, that's no. There's actually. I'm glad I checked that. See, like I said, I'm not perfect by any means. I just did this sort of out of the blue, right? So there's actually that's false alarm. There are actually 3 weekends left of this celebration, which means that's an extra stone per, and that goes up to 42, right? So, like I said, there might be some small mistakes here or there, but mostly, I mean, you can check all of this yourself if you want to. It should be mostly correct. Then, I'd already showed the Shenron special thing. We do also have this. We do know this is coming. It'll be the final stage. Typically, for story events with the final stage, they also have missions where it'll be like 1 stone for clearing all normal difficulties, and then 1 stone for clearing all hard difficulties, right? So I'm presuming we should have 4 remaining. Maybe it'll be 2, but I'm very confident it'll be 4. Okay, now we do actually have several unknowns here. And I'm not sure if this is even all of them. But this is, courtesy, shout out whatever to Proton here for, doing the data download stuff, obviously. But the question mark missions. So this is already, you can see in game, there are panel missions. There's 3 right now that we can't do. And it should be these ones. So they're actually adding a new stage to the Shadow Dragon event. This came with the 2023 Tanabata celebration. We should be getting a new stage to Stage 5 to the Team Battle event. And then finally, clear challenge event ID 1727, Stage 1. If I had to guess what that is supposed to represent, is the new Twitter campaign challenge event. So if you remember at the start of the part 1 stream, they had this campaign, right? where it's like, okay, you can vote to design an event for part 2. They did say it's coming in part 2. We don't have it yet. So that event should be a 4-phase, 1-enemy battle with you can't use items, but there's less toxic mechanics, and there should be missions for clearing with one of every type, right? So we do know that. We don't know how many stones it will give. It should give a decent bit of stones. The Shadow Dragon should give a decent bit of stones. I think the Perfect Cooperation usually gives 3 stones from the mission and like 1 stone from the clear. But I don't know if they're gonna have like a, clear all the stages, sort of get X amount of stones type of deal to it. So I just left that blank. Battlefield, we do know we're getting a part 2 Battlefield. We did actually get less stones from the part 1 Battlefield. Now, it was a shorter event. It seemed probably to help new players. But it is worth noting, we did get less stones overall. So there's a decent chance, at least, that the Part 2 Battlefield will have stones. We don't know that it will. But it should, probably. So, going through all of that information, we do have our final sort of stone total here. Although I do need to update this, actually. So we did -5 before, right? So that's 441. But then we did actually end up adding 2. So that's 443. So this isn't like set in stone. I mean, I could be wrong about like the GT sort of sub-ECA event, for example. But more or less, I would say this should be... Because we also don't know all these things, right? So even if I'm wrong about the GT event, I feel like all of these things should definitely make up for that. I feel like there's no way in hell I'm wrong about Vegeta and Trunks and Gogeta. Yeah, you can call me a clown and everything if I am wrong. Get the torches, the pitchforks, whatever. I'm very, very confident it will come in part 3, even if it's like a very last minute, like Gogeta Janemba thing were. So we'll see, but I'm pretty confident that's going to come. And by the way, we don't know anything about Part 3. I mean, we have Future and GT. How the hell are they going to tie that together? They do tend to drop, like, new stages to events and such with Part 3. I mean, new events, right? So we don't know what's coming for Part 3, and I suppose I should say that, Part 3 events. We don't know, right? But with all that in mind, in fact, we can... I can pull up the calculator here and just show very quickly, right? We can clear all, right? So we have 42 plus 49. Okay, we know that's coming. The Twitter campaign, right? 30, right? We know that's coming. The 7 stones, we know that's coming. The 50 stones, this is global exclusive. We know that's coming. In fact, while I'm on this, let me go down here. And I will write global. Remaining stones. Well, I suppose -50. Quick maths. 393. JP. So once again, I mean, I don't know everything for sure, but this is at least my estimate here from the time I'm recording this. So I mean, we may very well have the stones, the top grossing stones tonight. Once again, this is before the reset on the 24th. So do keep that in mind. But essentially, right, we go back up here. I did that I added the 50 stones, right? I believe I did. That's 91, 121, 128. Yep, okay, I added it. We do know that the 2 super EZAs are coming. That they should give 10 stones, right? We don't know for sure these 2 are coming, right? But I think it's all but guaranteed. So that's 34, 33 for a total of 67, right? Then I'll just ignore this, right? I'm very confident this is coming, but just to show like the actual like confirmed, right, from what we know. They always do this. So there's no reason to believe they shouldn't. 30 stones. They always do the thank you. There's no reason to believe they shouldn't. 30 stones. Right? I mean, the Dokkan special day, right? We get the deal. They're doing that. Pixel character, they do the same amount every month, right? Then we have the daily login. That's obviously not changing. 36 from the daily missions, plus an additional 6 from the weekend missions, right? Then we have the Shenron. We'll just say 10 just to be safe, right? And then finally, the Diamond Story event, 409. We, essentially all you have to do, if you don't think this is coming, just take it out, right? And then you have your sort of total. And I suppose I should even, put on here, confirmed. Well, I'll put like confirmed remaining stones. I'm sorry. This is, like I said, I haven't done this before, and I wanted to make this very easily readable, and I'm gonna put this on Twitter as well. So hopefully, this resource can help people. Because once again, I didn't know how much there would be, and I needed to see for myself essentially. So with this 409, and then let me write over here the estimated, and then finally, okay, let me do that just because it looks neat. And then once again, confirmed. I want this to look neat. I want this to be able to, if people want or are really wanting to know how much they should be able to get, because once again, I mean, it really would suck, if you keep summoning because you think you're gonna hit the pity and you're like just shy or something. Like maybe you would want to save for like mini 4Q, right? If he's coming into Anabata, we don't know, but that'd be my guess. I feel like there's no way they don't do him, because if they don't do him for Tanabata, they have to be doing him for anniversary. But then where the hell is adult 4Q going to come out, right? So I would say the odds are fairly high that mini 4Q's Tanabata. So maybe you don't want to keep summoning because you're not going to hit pity, right? And there's also some level of RNG to it because of the fact, right, that the sort of shitty SSRs. I mean, who knows how many you're actually going to end up getting. Did I, I'm looking at this. This is 44. What did I miss? I had to have missed something. I don't know. I must have missed something, because I know this isn't included, right? But where's the other 10 stones? That's let me go through this one more time just to be sure I got the math correct here, because I don't want to post this, or even, just for you guys. What the hell did I miss? 42 plus 49 plus 30 plus 7 plus 50 plus 10. And then we know these are coming. This is 30. I'm just going to do that plus 3, right? Plus 30 plus 4, right? Skip over that. Then plus 30 over here. Another 30. 10. 10. 18. All right, then we have 36. I'm curious, like, what did I mess up? And then 10 here, 4. Okay, so that's 409. So is it this that's wrong? It has to be this that's wrong. Because the additional... Oh my god. No. Wait, I'm just bad at math. Oh my god. I had it right. Look, it's 34. Listen. I don't know, man. Sometimes I'm a Dragon Ball fan, okay? Alright, let's... Jesus Christ. Alright, 393. This is why I use calculators, okay? Calculators are your friend. And then we had that, and then 359. Jesus Christ. Okay, well, there we go. That's a little humorous end, I suppose. Haha, I made a mistake. But I mean, this, as you can see, the math is correct though. I mean, I showed it, I explained it. You can go and fact just check this if you want, but these are like the low estimates essentially. Because even if you want to look at the confirmed numbers, right, we still have these events coming, right? So even with the confirmed numbers, we're going to get more than 409. We're going to get more than 359, right? We don't know how many we're going to get, but I mean, I'd wager through all of these, there's going to be at least another 50. At least. I mean, I'm not going to say there is going to be. There could be more, there could be less. I don't know. But maybe like another 50, right? So hopefully this gives you an idea of just what to expect. I wanted to make this as in-depth as possible just to make sure, because I know it's a little long. And I'll probably honestly even put like an edited thing to just skip to this timestamp. If you want to skip the explanation, I mean that's perfectly fine. But I wanted, once again, for myself and for others to share this. Hopefully, it will help you decide on what you want to do with your summons. I really want both of them. I'm gonna keep summoning. Once again, I did show how much pity coins I need. I'm very confident, especially with getting like the old shitty SSRs. Unless I get absolutely none for the remaining stones, I should definitely be able to hit pity. It'll be close. It'll be at the very end of the celebration, but I should be able to hit it. So there we go. I think that about wraps things up. Hopefully this is helpful. I just, it took me a moment to like look at literally everything we know of, and I'm pretty sure this is everything we know of. If I'm wrong and there's something we actually don't know of here, well, guess what? I mean, that just means more stones. So I'm fine with being wrong. But there we go. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this was helpful. Take care.